Hey, it's great to be with you again today. Do you ever get tempted, right? I mean, I think all of us have been tempted at some time or another. I remember when I was a kid one time, I stole a candy bar. And I was a little kid, right? I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. And I stole this candy bar as we were going through the grocery store. And we got outside and my mom was like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, "I don't know," right? It looked good. And I had to go back and return it and say that I was sorry and apologize for taking something that wasn't mine. And I'm using that as a little example, right? That we all get tempted in some way. And maybe it's not a candy bar for us. Maybe it's pornography on the internet at nighttime after everyone else has gone to bed. Maybe it's drinking too much. Maybe it's an addiction that we have and we can't kick it, right? And we want to, and we ask God to help us, but sometimes, like, it just feels like, well, we're on our own. And we say to God, like, "Hey, why do you allow me to be tempted like this? Are you tempting me?" And here's the thing: God doesn't tempt us. God allows us to be tested, which will build our character, perseverance, and deepen our faith if we turn away from that sin, that temptation that Satan puts in our face, right? Satan doesn't try to tempt us with something that he knows that we're not going to want to do, right? Satan gives us like things that we love. He doesn't walk up to me and go like, "Hey man, you want some heroin? You want to shoot up?" Like, no, that's not my thing. But if something comes in that, well, it's a weakness that I have, well, you can bet that Satan will try to tempt me to get me to give in, to sin. And then, right, and then everything else starts to kick in. Then our shame starts and we start to feel bad and we feel like we've let God down and, oh my gosh, maybe God doesn't love me anymore because I sinned and I gave in to this temptation. And Jesus was tempted 3 times in the wilderness by Satan, right? And Satan went after him in areas that he knew would be like a weakness at Jesus at that point. Jesus had been fasting for 40 days. And so Satan says, "Hey, why don't you turn these stones into bread?" And Jesus quoted scripture at him. And then Satan takes him up to the top of the temple, to the pinnacle, and says, "Hey, you know what? You might as well just claim yourself as like the king of the Jews now and throw yourself down and all these angels will grab you and you won't even hit your foot on the rocks." And